Good evening, my name is Michael Muddett, and I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the Inland Wetlands Commission of the town of Monroe. Today's date is November 9th, the time is 7:02. First order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to introduce the members of the commission that are present tonight. Starting at my far right, we have Ross Mascaracco. To his left is Jim Stewart, who's a professional engineer and licensed land surveyor. To his left is Megan Hayden, who is our treasurer. I'm Mike Muddett, I'm the chairman. To my left is Jason Grady, our vice chairman. To his left is Lois Spence, our secretary. To her left is Donna Shazinski, our Inland Wetlands Commission and Land Use Coordinator. To her left is Scott Schatzline, sorry Scott, town engineer, land use director, professional engineer, and our inland wetlands agent. And we have Rebecca Wood as our recording secretary. All right. Before we start, I'll read our mission statement, how the meeting will proceed. The objective and purpose of the Monroe Inland Wetlands Commission is to provide for the overall protection and preservations of the inland wetlands and watercourses within the town of Monroe. In the normal course of meetings, we'll have public hearings and other applications. The protocol for public hearings is to have an applicant make a representation or presentation to the commission, during which and after which the commission will be asking the applicant questions. The commission will then review with town staff and other independent comments. The meeting will then be opened up for public for comment. I will ask that all comments be made to the chair of the commission. After any and all comments, pro and opposition or general nature, are made, the applicant will be given the opportunity to respond. It is not necessary for the applicant to respond, but generally in their best interest to do so. There'll be no further opportunity for new questions unless new materials entered into evidence during the response. Please keep any comments pro, con, or specific to inland wetlands related matters. Other applications that do not involve public hearing will follow a similar format, with the exception there will be no public comments allowed. The meeting follows our published agenda unless otherwise amended. Are there any changes to our agenda tonight?
There are. We need to add the meeting schedule for 2017 to vote on that. If y'all, I did send it to everyone. Did you get it?
Yep.
Okay. And there's hard copies. Yep. Also.
We'll put it under general discussion, section 12.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, not that I know of.
Great. For next item is the minutes of October 12th. I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion to approve by Lois, a second by Jason. Is there any changes, comments, questions? Seeing none, I'll call a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstain.
We have passes. We have 5 with 1 abstention. The next item is the minutes of October 26, 2016. I will entertain a motion.
I wasn't present at the meeting, but I did watch the video, but I couldn't hear a lot of the stuff going on, so I'm going to abstain.
Move to approve.
Motion by Lois, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Megan. Any questions, comments, changes? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And we have Jason as abstention. Any other abstentions? Okay, passes 5-0-1 with 1 abstention. Okay, next item, general public participation. This time's open for anybody who would like to give public comment to the commission. If the item is on the agenda tonight, please reserve comment for that item. All topics should stay towards an inland wetland specific nature. Is anybody here to speak tonight? Nope. Seeing none. Okay, we will keep going. Section 2, application hearing determinations, we have none. Section 3, subdivision report recommendations to planning and zoning, we have none. Section 4, regulated activities, we have no regular meetings and no public meetings. Section 5, violations, IWV 2014-01, 4 Maple Drive, second second, I can't even say that.
Stickers.
Second review, discussion of site visit. Did anybody have the chance to visit the site? No? Okay, then we will table that one until the next meeting.
Didn't I see an email about the 19th?
So is that the 4 or 12 or the 8? Who emailed us? It was, the controls people.
Mr. O'Keefe.
Mr.
O'Keefe, which one's he?
yes.
He's the 4th, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so
So that's for,
that's for the first one,
Oh,
4.
okay.
So yeah, he's available on the 19th. We just have to make sure we keep it to under 3.
right.
And that's at, I think, 11:30, which I couldn't make if I tried, but I'm out of town that day anyway. But feel free, I'll give him a call and try to get another time after work too, and I'll email the commission. Okay. IWV 2014-02, 8 Maple Drive, second review also. Anybody visit this site? No?
We're all kind of next to each other.
Yeah, they are. Visit one, you visit all of them. Okay, so are we good for tabling this to the next meeting?
oh,
What?
I didn't realize that, okay. Nothing, go ahead, sorry. I didn't realize nobody had gotten out there.
We did not.
No, sorry. There's a short gap between this and the last meeting. The next one is IWV 2014-03, guessing since we didn't visit any of the other 2 sites. Anybody visit this one? Seeing none, we will go ahead and table that one as well. Sorry, guys. Sorry to bring you out. I apologize.
Should I call in and get some kind of a date or something, or
Well, maybe
you
we
guys
could-
just wanna call me, or?
Yeah, we'll call you.
Yeah, you have the.
She gave us a number, right,
Try to
exactly.
coordinate them all at once.
It stays on our agenda just because it's a pending case.
Okay.
But until we visit your site, there's not gonna be much discussion. I appreciate you coming out, though. Thank you so much.
I get to go shopping.
There you go.
Have fun.
Good luck.
See, I'm gonna leave, and then, like in 5 minutes, you guys can finish up, and
That's,
so I'll go for a drink.
There
yeah,
you
there you
go.
go.
That sounds like a really good idea.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you,
Good
good night.
night.
Good night.
Okay, moving to section 7. Deliberation sessions, completed hearings. We have the 2 letters that Scott and the office have drafted. The first one, we'll hand them one by one. IWC 2016-16. This is which one is, okay, this one's the actual application.
Yes.
So we'll do the application
The
first.
draft approval.
The draft approval for the application,
Yes,
yes.
sorry.
I will entertain a motion.
Well, I guess before we get to the motion,
Okay.
I saw that email where you asked about easement language. Was there a subsequent revision after that?
Not that I was aware of. So that was
Maybe
one
we
of the
should talk
questions,
about
but
it.
that was
No.
the next one, isn't it?
But that's- yeah, that's for the
That's
referral.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's
That's okay,
referral.
that's okay.
Never mind.
Yeah. Oh, we did plenty of back and forth on
Okay.
the
Yeah.
draft.
Sorry, I didn't mean to screw it up.
No, no worries.
So I move that we approve, accept
Accept the
This draft.
approval.
With the draft language, yeah.
I'll second.
Okay.
Motion by Lois, a second by Jason. Is there any discussion? We could have Scott review the letter real quick.
Okay, the letter is 6 pages long. It follows the standard format. It includes the list of submitted and considered for the application. It lists the specific plans that you wanted to approve, so I listed those. And I listed the applicable exhibits that would be specific to the approval as well. So that's the first 2 pages. That was my, sorry about that. Let me shut that off. And so it then goes on to list a number of 2 items that were the findings on page 2. And hopefully you agree with those. I tried to get those close to what you were saying. And then under page 3, conditions for 270 days, it lists A through H with changes to the plan that were needed, and then goes on to list a bunch of other items that need to be addressed. Total items of 6 under section A which have to be done within 270 days. The rest of the letter follows pretty much the standard format. It calls for a $26,000 bond, and there's a bunch of categories on page 4. Then goes into the standard requirements that you've asked to be on all the letters. It, on page 5, goes into the standard language for the timing, expiration, and transfer of the permit, and then lists some standard language for clarification and standards and conditions, ending on page 6.
Great. Are there any changes, questions, comments? I know we did go back a little bit with the draft after it first came out, so I think the second draft got a lot of stuff, so is there any other changes? Okay, I will call the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Sounds good. Votes unanimous. Okay. Second one is IWC 2016-16. This is 232 Elm Street proposed 4-lot subdivision, associated site improvements. This is a referral letter to TPZ. And before I even call the vote, or call the motion, or entertain a motion, let's talk about that question Megan had. If you want to repeat your question, please.
I didn't, maybe I missed it, but I didn't see any subsequent drafts or responses in response to Lois's question, which I thought was a good one, but I might have just missed it.
What was the question?
I had sent an email on Friday, November 4th, having to do with the referral, and there were 3 points that I brought up.
So,
And I didn't see any, I'm with Megan, I didn't see any subsequent.
okay. I have the questions if you want to just hear.
Yeah, let's do them now, because
All
I
right.
somehow must have, maybe I missed the fact that there was a second
No worries.
comment.
I believe
It was
we're.
the second one, right?
Yeah,
No,
this is the.
this is on the referral, this is the first one on the referral,
Okay.
Right.
the only one on the referral.
I believe we were going to make a comment that the easement was impractical and as it necessitates a significant wetlands crossing. Just wanted to confirm it says that.
Yeah, that's my
does-
comment number 2.
I was just gonna say, I was gonna point to that, okay. It doesn't represent a condition or situation that's approved or endorsed by the issuance of this subdivision approval.
But does that say that we think it's impractical?
Well, I didn't know if you wanted to prejudge something like that. I mean, my thought was that they have a right to grant an easement. You really can't stop them. They could even do that after your approval. They could come into the office and say, we've just.
Granted easement, yeah.
They don't even have to ask us.
If they want to put a road in, then we have to talk.
Yeah.
And I think that P and Z is gonna have a similar concern as well, because it's like, we didn't ask for this right of way to be put there. Usually you have to show us a layout, and that's usually with roadways too. So-
Right.
Oh, okay.
So I thought I'd just put here that, that this in no way is implying that you're approving that or
Okay.
endorsing.
I think that works.
That's fine then.
All right.
No problem.
Second question is, since, this is gonna be fun to read, not that you said anything wrong, it's just part of it's underlined, and I have to point that out, okay. Since this is a referral from P and Z to IWC, are the underlying parts of this paragraph appropriate? The presence of assessment easement within Lot 3 in favor of 176 Elm Street is the result of a private arrangement between the property owners and does not represent a condition or situation that is approved or endorsed by the issuance of this subdivision by, and then underlined is the Planning and Zoning Commission and/or the Wetlands Commission, ununderlined. Said approvals do not in any way grant rights current, and so the rest of that, and then also underlined by both commissions.
Yeah, I saw that, Lois. I left it in
Sort of the
because,
same question a little bit.
yeah, I mean, you're saying to the Planning and Zoning Commission, your comment to them is saying that it would affect both commissions, you think, but they can decide that, oh, we don't want it to say P and Z. You're just merely saying to them that you think it should read that both of them are,
Okay.
that it's not
All right.
appropriate for both.
Okay,
Okey-dokey.
and third and last question was, rather than have the concept understood, weren't we going to include that 2 and 4 had to come back to IWC for building approval unless all proposed activity lay outside, completely outside the URA? Lot 3 has to come back regardless.
We did talk about that during deliberations.
That'd be part of the letter?
I think It
And
isn't,
the only reason I thought what we were saying was that, that what you said was that, we came to the conclusion that if they submit a plan for site development, and any part of their site development is within regulated area, then they have to come before the commission. That's a standard thing, that no matter when someone comes in, they gotta come before you if that's the situation. So I didn't think we wanted to say specifically, because you don't know. I mean, we theoretically could get a plan that comes in that doesn't.
right, but that's what, I guess I was just, trying to specify that, to make sure that it isn't just understood, that it's, we actually say that, if it's outside the URA, no problem. But if it's got any part of regulated area, that it definitely has to come back to us.
Is your concern that if they try to say that they, like, because, I mean, obviously their plans show houses, whether or not they're real
Right.
or not. Somebody can come and say, look, this was approved by Wetlands, it has houses on it, I could build this house. Is that your concern?
If
'Cause, I
they
mean,
built that house, it wouldn't be a problem because it was, all the
Outside-
activity
all the
was
stuff was
outside the URA. But if they decided to expand their development,
But I
they
mean,
may
that-
not think that they need to.
The only
come.
time they could ever make that argument, though, is if it was encompassed in the original plans. I think.
Right.
So if it's outside of what's in the original plans,
they have to come before us just because it's inside the URA.
right.
But is there a way of ensuring that that would happen?
Yeah, I signed
Because it
off
has
on
to
building
be,
permits.
because it has to come through you. All right, suppose through some strange thing, you're not there when they decide to go forward with the
Well, I'm the only one
plans.
that can sign it. I'm your agent. So if I don't sign it, no one else is signing
I
it.
think she's saying,
Okay.
if there was another inland wetlands agent,
Well, then you're
Then we have-
obviously gonna appoint somebody, and you're gonna make sure that, like, one of the things I did when I got appointed was made sure that I understood what the limits were. Like, when I issue an agent approval, we had a talk, and we talked about how, well, if it's any activity that's virgin activity, if it's in someone's yard, previously disturbed, yeah, go ahead and do the agent approval. And I know what my limits are.
Is that written down, that list of agents, is that in the bylaws?
No, it's not in the bylaws.
Because, I mean, we may not remember when it comes time, if we ever need to do this.
I think it's in our regulations.
well, I think
Maybe-
regulations
maybe.
have very broad,
Yeah,
No,
they
I
kind
think
of
there's a place in our regulations that
right.
talks about the duties of the agent.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think if I'm remembering correctly.
We
tried
did
to
put
define
something in,
it.
I don't know how specific it is, I don't remember how
I mean,
specific
we could
it
make
is.
it
but-
more if you want.
But that was only in there to just make sure that if, no matter who was in the position, that there would be no question that those
Right.
guys needed to
I
come
mean,
back.
as far as
Is it
I'm,
a problem with putting it in? I guess that's the
I don't
question.
see why.
Okay.
I mean, as you know, my method is to
Your
Run
method
it-
is very complete.
run it down.
Right,
And the fact that you meet twice a month kind of helps too,
Mm-hmm.
so usually.
right.
okay.
Okay, well, that's up to
answers
the
that.
commission as to what, they want to do, and we want to add that sentence if we would not want to.
I mean, I think it just kind of muddies it, I mean, it has to come back first.
I think that could
So
somehow
if-
be interpreted to mean that something,
It has to come back even if it doesn't need, like,
Right.
it doesn't in the URA.
exactly. Like, I think that could almost do the opposite of what we're trying to achieve.
So,
So we approve a subdivision, and it shows lots that when developed are gonna be in the upland review area or have wetlands impact. No matter what they propose, they have to come back?
if they're within the regulated area, yes.
Okay.
Now,
I just, to me, it would make more sense to me is if they propose something and in the plan, and the new proposal is less impact than what they proposed on the plan, to me, that would be something that should be able to be approved. Now, if they're proposing a house that's twice as big, and the driveway goes further into the wetlands, and they're proposing more grading and a bigger deck, then to me, that would be something that should come back. But if it's just something that's the same as what they propose in the plans, or less, let's say they pulled it back, there's less grading.
That's kind of what that says, though. It says that if you keep it where it's depicted,
Right,
there's
then
no
it-
problem, you don't
right.
have to come back.
But I think
But
the
if
question of what's less is a little bit
Now, let's
subjective.
back up a minute.
Scott knows what less is.
When I came here,
Less is
the way that you guys handled it
Oh,
was,
the way we did
you,
this poorly.
you approved, you did just what Jim is saying. You approved it, and as long as it matched what was on the subdivision
Yeah.
plan, then we moved forward. I personally don't think that's the appropriate way to do it. And the reason is because you're approving regulated activity associated with a subdivision, not with lots. The lots get sold and get developed by other people. And so it makes it very complicated because you're combining subdivision stuff and lot stuff. How do you bond it? How do you know, and what about the specifics? I mean, they come in and they're within the window of development, but they're proposing something that has, you know, like an oil tank or,
Well,
just
then
to use
it's,
an
then it's
example.
different though.
Well, but it's not. If it's within the window of the development, now there's judgment and you don't see stuff and, you know.
We had a lot of problems with this, I remember in the beginning that used to happen, because what they were supposed to do is bring us a conceptual plan. These are not building site plans, they're conceptual. So, because we didn't do that, we didn't know what we were doing yet, the whole thing, the subdivision got approved, and they would just build whatever they
Well,
wanted
they
to.
can- obviously, they
So
shouldn't
now
be
it's-
able, obviously, they shouldn't be able to
Right,
build
now
whatever
it's
they want to,
different.
but if the house is a different shape,
Well, again, the problem is, it's a potential development plan to show you that a house can be built there. And you're approving the lot's layout, the lot
The
layout.
lines.
yeah,
And you're asking for that plan to see that the lot layout is practical. Now, you may allow someone to show that, hey, the only way I could build is to go into the upland review area. You don't have to do that. You know, one of the things you can say is, we don't like that lot, and it's got regulated activity, fix it, change your layout, and prevent that from happening. In this case, you chose not to do that. But if you do it the way you're saying, what happens is, issues associated with the individual lots get lost in the shuffle. Because if you have a subdivision with 40 lots, are you really gonna be zeroing in and looking at 20 of them that are in wetlands and, you know,
Yeah.
making sure there's not alternatives to those?
I think that's what we do though, isn't it?
Well,
No,
not
you-
really, because we don't really look at,
No.
we don't
It
look at
seems
drainage
like
The
plans.
subdivision you should be looking at, what you should be looking at in the subdivision, you should say, is that lot really practical? Do we really wanna see that much regulated activity? Yes or no? Maybe it's a long skinny lot and it doesn't have a lot of developable area. You should be asking questions like, well, you know, is there room on that property for a pool and a deck or a shed? Because everybody wants those. So if we allow that lot to get created and there's not any room to put a shed or a deck or a pool, that's not a very practical lot, because what's gonna happen? They're gonna come in and they're gonna want a pool, and they're gonna say to you, we have no choice.
And we're gonna have to approve a
And
lot,
you're gonna
because
have-
you already approved the lot.
Well, you don't
No.
have to approve a pool.
We're not gonna have to approve it.
But-
Well, you're gonna have to approve, we're gonna have
You
to
have to-
approve some
you
sort
have
of
to
a
approve
development on that lot.
That's true.
If
One-
we approve the lot.
If
you
start
approve
off
the
with
lot
that,
to begin
yes.
with.
Once it's an
That's
approved lot, we
correct.
have to develop, we have to allow
A
some.
reasonable
Yeah.
development of that lot.
Right.
That's why we have to be
Which,
careful
yeah,
with what we approve in the
It's only
first place.
judgeable in court, yeah.
So,
That's what's reasonable.
So
So
you
anyway,
could,
that's-
if you approve a window of development, then, you know, the next plan comes in, the house is twice the size. Now you
Well,
got
then they're
twice,
outside that window.
well, you got twice the impervious area, you know, then.
Yeah, I think there's just too much
So
judgment.
what
It's gotta,
we
if
did-
you don't feel comfortable making the
Well,
decision,
what
then
we
that-
did
I
was-
understand that.
What we did was, we said, look, the era of getting subdivision applications with, you know, 50, 60, 100, you know, lots, that era is kind of over.
Yeah.
And the applications coming in now, we get like, what, 3 subdivisions a year, maybe?
Yeah, and they're 5
Residential,
lots,
and they got like
lots.
5 lots, and out of that, you got 1 or 2. So we thought, you know what, why are we doing that? Why don't we just make them come, and then we can give it their due diligence and review and approve it that way. And so that's when they started doing that. We
That being
that-
said, also, the market in Connecticut's gone from like a developer developing all 40 houses and then selling the houses as like a real estate agent to, I subdivide this land, I sell it off as building lots, make my money there, and then go let
Yeah.
some builder build a house.
And I haven't been
Yeah.
getting any pushback on it, because I think in most other towns, that's what they do. There's a subdivision approval, and then there's, if you want to develop, then there's individual lot approvals. I think that if we move into that environment where we've got bigger subdivisions and things, I think we're gonna need to revisit it.
And I don't think anything would stop an applicant from saying, here's my subdivision, immediately followed by, here's all my lot proposals.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they can do that, they can even
There's,
do
there's
that.
nothing stopping you from making it kind of one
Right.
big wave of approvals.
Right.
If you're planning on building 50 houses in town,
And the
come all
third,
with all your data. We'll
the
have to take
third
it.
reason too is that when you are approving the subdivision, it's a proposed subdivision. You don't even know, I mean, that could go to P and Z and they could change the subdivision. Meanwhile, you're approving lots for development, you don't even, they're not even lots yet,
Okay.
and you're approving them.
I don't want to go too far down this.
Yeah.
Are you still good with your
Yeah.
questions, Jim? Okay.
Sorry.
No, I'm just making sure everybody's, is there any other
So,
questions or
just for
concerns about the letter?
clarification, so you don't want the comment in there that it's just a standard thing?
I think it's good the way it is, but that's just my opinion.
Okay, so everybody agrees with that?
That's fine.
Okay. All right.
Sorry I didn't respond to you on that one, I dropped the ball.
It's okay. Not a problem.
Okay, any other questions, comments, changes? Okay, hearing none, I'll call the motion. Any, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Did we actually ever move? Did we make the motion?
Yeah.
Or do we just
No.
go into discussion?
I'm sorry, I have names written down, I wrote them in the wrong place.
Then I moved to approve
Okay,
as
we have
written.
Lois and,
Second.
thank you, Megan. Sorry about that, guys, not paying attention. All right, now I will call the motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Unanimous. Great. Any, so yeah, we'll continue on. Bond releases none, time extensions none. Any agent activities to report, Scott?
No.
Okay. Violation discussions, none. General meeting discussions, we added the approval of the calendar. Anybody have any questions on the dates that Donna sent out?
I think I got it right this year.
Looks
No
good.
confusion.
And why don't we have to have extra meetings in December and November and,
Well, as you can
August?
see, we don't have any applications. Yeah.
Holidays.
Why, you watch more?
Nope.
no, I don't want any, but I'm just wondering.
All right.
I thought we got the summers off.
No.
We're just one meeting in the
Yeah, so
summer, right?
We used to get
just,
July off, I
How
thought.
about
At least
we
July,
give up
one
July?
meeting in July.
August is
July
a problem
We used to
with,
have one meeting in July.
August is a
One
problem
meeting in
with
July, one in
quorum, and November and December are problems with holidays, right?
August. Right.
Just trying to avoid holidays, we really only can have
I
one.
moved that we take July 26th off.
Yeah, I actually do think we should get rid of July 26th.
One in August.
Well, you know, something,
Yeah.
something, by the way, to think of too, is that, this is yours, this is the, regularly scheduled meetings.
Yeah, we can
When
cancel
people
them.
submit applications, they get accepted at the next regularly scheduled meeting, whether you have the meeting or not. So if you approve this agenda, it's kind of safe, insurance, because if you don't want to have that July 26th meeting, you just cancel it.
Yeah, but then we've used it up, they're planning on it.
Well, that's their problem, because they're losing time, not you.
Yeah, I mean, then it would just be accepted on the 24th.
I was just thinking what you said. We used to have only one meeting in July and one in August. So
Yeah.
we could still eliminate one of those July meetings if
That's-
we wanted to.
I thought, yep. I
There's a
believe-
motion on the table.
Hold on.
There is.
Overruled on that one.
I don't make the rules, I just type it up, so
Yeah,
you tell me.
Even back to,
Do you remember that?
do we want to get,
Well,
so,
what I'm trying to point out is
It
that
was
if
before me,
if you add it afterward, you don't have the same
Why
rights.
would we?
it's a
add it?
special meeting, then we only can cover what we.
Scott is
Yeah,
saying it's
same.
easier to cancel it than
It's
to add
easier
it.
to
Right.
cancel than add, is what I'm saying.
Just
Don't
like
get
when
me
we
wrong,
add
I mean,
our,
I love coming to, I'm coming to one meeting in July, but it's,
just like when we add a meeting in December normally.
Which we never have.
No, it's a special meeting,
The special meeting.
At the
Oh,
bar.
that special meeting
Yes.
at the bar, yes,
and it only has one agenda item.
right.
Put it out to the room, what do we think? July 26th, yay or nay? I think I'm personally nay,
Nay and
Nay, to
not
get
get rid of
Nay?
it, yeah.
Not getting rid of it?
No.
Or getting rid of it?
Getting rid of it,
Oh,
Do we want to get rid of the 26th or the 12th?
Right, so-
Because the next meeting is August 23rd. If we got rid of the 26th, then that would be 6 weeks.
Right, and in
Okay,
2012, we
so
met on the
it's gonna be
25th, so maybe get rid of July
Get rid of
12th.
July.
Yeah, because then we won't have so much time in between.
Perfect.
meetings.
All right, July 12th is gone. All right, the amended schedule, I'll entertain a motion for the amended schedule.
Motion to approve.
Government efficiency.
All
I'll
right,
second.
motion by Jason, a second by Lois. Any other changes? All right, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Amended schedule passes unanimously.
Okay.
I lost my agenda. There it is. All right, thank you, sir. No correspondence I see, unless you have some, Lois.
No, I'm
All right.
going to the Techiwick meeting on Saturday. You can still come if you want to.
Cool. All right, then last item is adjournment. Anybody make a motion for that?
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion,
Second.
second by Jim. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Who adjourned? Who,
Motion.
Jim.
I think that's the quickest meeting so far.
Yeah, I think